We have seen movies that take place during Christmas time. When we think of Christmas, we think of Christmas trees, the snow, the presents being opened at night or in the morning, and also spending time with family. There isn't many Christmas horror movies that I have seen, but the ones I have seen weren't as good as I was expecting them to be, except for one movie. And that movie is called P2. P2 came out on November 9, 2007, and I believe that this movie has been the best horror movie that takes place during Christmas. The movie is about a woman named Angela, played by Rachel Nichols, who is working late on Christmas Eve. When she finally decides to leave, she goes down to the parking garage to get her car, but it won't start. Thomas is played by Wes Bentley, who is in charge of the building's garage, offers to help her. He also invited Angela to dinner, but she refused since she was already running late to a family gathering for Christmas. Thomas refused for her to leave the building, and so he knocks her out. She wakes up in Thomas's office, chained to the table, and also in different clothing. Throughout the movie, Angela must fight for her life in order to escape from the parking garage. The P in P2 stands for parking lot number 2. There's 3 levels to the garage in the building, and Angela must survive against Thomas. Will she though? If you have not seen the movie and like to know what happens, go see the movie first, because I will be going over the movie and then come back to this video. Fair warning. Without further ado, let's get started. What I really want to talk about first is the overall setting for the movie. The movie takes place in a cold winter night, but it's not just any night, it's Christmas time, and bad things were going to start for our lead character named Angela. Never in a movie, let alone a horror movie, takes place all in one building, but mostly in the parking lot. When I was younger, I have never really thought of the parking lot as a horror setting, but this made it come true. You can feel the loneliness and the emptiness of the parking lot. Angela, who's our main character, had to hide, especially at night, and even run from the security officer chasing her all night. The main reason Angela couldn't leave was because first, her car stopped working, the security guard did something to it, and also all of the building's doors were all locked for the holidays. No one couldn't come in, and nobody couldn't come out. To make things even worse for Angela, she wakes up with different clothing that isn't meant to be worn during a very cold night. The parking lot was the most important piece of the movie. Without it, the movie would not have done very well, because it has never been done before. At times, when you're watching the movie, you feel like you're at the edge of your seat, cheering for the main character to make it out alive at times. P2 only really focuses on the most important characters that we see throughout its runtime, the protagonist and the antagonist of the movie. The protagonist, here being Angela, played by Rachel Nichols, makes key decisions that affect the plot, mostly by influencing the story and propelling it forward. Also, she's the one that goes throughout most of the significant obstacles to reach her goal. Her goal being is to escape the parking lot alive. The opposite of the protagonist is the antagonist, the person who causes trouble to the main character. In this movie, Thomas is the antagonist. He tries to make Angela's night even worse by making her call her family and telling them that she was okay, while the viewer knows she really isn't. Another example of how Thomas tries to make Angela's night even worse was that he used a water hose to drown Angela in the elevator. While Angela's goal is to try to survive, Thomas's goal is very different. Thomas's goal wasn't that he wanted to kill Angela, it was that he wanted to spend time with her, because he was alone. We will come back to Thomas in a bit, but for now, I want to describe Angela's point of view throughout the movie. how she felt about the things happening to her, and what did she thought of Thomas, the security guard. Then I'm gonna describe how Thomas felt about Angela and what he was doing to her. The movie was written very well, that if Thomas was the protagonist instead of Angela, you'll get to see the movie from a different perspective. But for now, let's talk about Angela. Angela was ready to leave the parking lot, and she was already running late to meet her family for a Christmas gathering. When Thomas asked Angela if she could stay for a dinner to prepare for himself, she said no. She was being polite as possible because she was already running late to meet her family. Angela waited for the taxi she called. The taxi took a while to pick her up. She tried to exit the building but couldn't because the building was locked tight. Since Angela took a while to get to the taxi's car, the taxi left her behind. She immediately went down the parking lot because she needed Thomas's help to open the parking lot door. The lights then turned off on the parking lot, and Angela was shocked and angry with the security guard. While walking in the dark with a small flashlight of her cell phone, she fell and all the things she was carrying fell with her. When she finally got her phone off the ground, she didn't notice that Thomas was behind her. He knocked her out, and minutes later, she then woke up in Thomas's office. She was confused and somewhat terrified at first, but as the movie progresses, she felt helpless and scared that she wasn't going to make it out alive. Almost the whole movie, she was handcuffed and she could not do much. Until close to the ending of the movie, that's when she had enough and it was time to do something about Thomas. From the perspective of Thomas, Thomas has been stalking Angela for quite some time. This information was revealed when he mentioned to Angela the names of her siblings and family members. After making her lie to her family that she was at her home, safe and sound, Thomas showed her a video that he recorded from the building's cameras of one of her co-workers trying to touch her inappropriately in the elevator. Thomas told her that he loves her despite her many sins. Having obsessively watched and recorded her for quite some time through the CCTV in his office, Angela tried to escape from Thomas, but she failed since she had her foot chained to the table. This is when Thomas handcuffed Angela and they immediately went to the next parking lot level. Thomas showed Angela that he had Jim Harper, the same man who was messing with her, tied in an office chair. The reason being Thomas had Harper tied up in the chair was because he thought that he was evil after he saw Harper touching Angela when he was fully drunk from the office party. Thomas told Angela that she should get out of the car and beat Harper up with the flashlight he was carrying. Angela told him that he had too many drinks from the party and he didn't mean to do it. Since Angela refused to hit Harper with the flashlight, Thomas decided that he should be the one to beat him up with the flashlight. He also ran Harper into the wall multiple times, killing him. Throughout the night, Thomas kept telling Angela that he wasn't going to hurt her. He just wanted her to come out of hiding and just talk to him. The reason why he threw water into the elevator was because he just wanted her to come out of it. Close to the ending of the movie, we got to see Thomas's dog named Rocky chase after Angela through the parking lot. Sadly, Angela killed the dog because the dog wasn't going to stop. Rocky actually bit her and he wasn't going to stop, so she had to do what she had to do. When Thomas found his dog Rocky in the car, all bloodied up and dead, his goal changed drastically. Now he really wanted to kill Angela, for real this time. As we get closer to the ending of the movie, it was time for the two of them to face each other, one-on-one. Angela found a pair of keys in the car rental office and immediately tried to drive away at full speed to the parking lot garage door, but Thomas stopped her immediately with his car. They both started to play a game of chicken with cars. Angela won, but since she lost control of the wheel, the car flipped over. Thomas went to go check if Angela was still alive. She was. She immediately took her handcuffs, trying to choke Thomas as hard as she could, and she also took his keys to finally free herself from the handcuffs. She then immediately cuffed Thomas to the car, and now he couldn't escape. When Angela started walking away from Thomas, Thomas desperately starts pleading, asking why Angela won't love him back or even be friends with him. Dude, you were chasing her all night in the parking garage. There's no way she will want to be friends with you now. When Angela kept walking away, he then reveals his true feelings for her. He said he was always alone and that he just wanted her company, especially during the holiday season. When Thomas said something very offensive to Angela, she ignited the gasoline with the taser she picked up from the ground. The car was set on fire while Thomas was still chained to the car. The car then exploded and Angela was finally able to escape the parking lot, walking barefooted in the empty streets of Midtown Manhattan. The writers and the director for P2 made a good horror movie that took place during Christmas time. Even the actors who played Angela and Thomas did a great job with their acting. It's a good thriller movie to watch with your significant other or even by yourself. The suspense of the movie keeps the viewer at the edge of their seat, and also the viewer hoping that Angela was going to make it out alive. And this is why I think that P2 is the best Christmas horror movie that has been made by far. Well guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for making it this far. I have a playlist where I have created in-depth horror videos about my favorite horror films and video games. I talked about them comprehensively and I break them down on what I think about them. If you guys want to see more of those videos, check out my in-depth horror playlist for more videos like these. And again guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you can see when I post my next video. Like and subscribe guys. Take care and live to the fullest.